Going live now.
Yeah. Looks like we're about to get underway here for the second half of the 4 hours of Laguna Seca. Here with the Trackstars Endurance Series, I have with me in the commentary box Beast Racer, and we're also going to have Adam Weller from time to time.
Hello.
Good evening, Benjo.
Yeah, g'day Beast Racer, how are you, buddy? Should be a good race tonight.
I'm good, mate, and it's going to be a very good race. If it's the first half is anything to go by, we are in for an absolute treat for the next 2 hours. Well,
aren't we? What?
1 hour and 59 minutes now. We completed 99 laps. Points on an absolute mission, one spot the first half, and now it's all up to Spud to bring the car home.
Yeah, that was an absolute ripper from Punts in the first stint. And the same with Blacko in the 22 car, now handed over to... Oh, sorry, I've got that wrong.
Little Blacko was in the 22, he's now handed over to Lurox.
Ah, that's right, he was earlier, sorry. I thought he was in the 34 car for some reason.
No, Brandoza was in the 34 car, brought it
That's
home.
right,
And
EBM,
we've got our friend Adam, who is our
the
regular
UK
commentator, all the way from the United Kingdom in the 34 EBM car as we come out of the final corner, ready for the start of the final leg, part number 2 of round number 3 of the Trackstars Endurance Series, and we are away. Spud leads it down into the Andretti hairpin for the opening time. We've already got Lurox in the second, Diswood's in third. Diswood and Spud both doing double duties in this race, which is unbelievable.
That's crazy. So that is crazy. So Spud actually jumped into the pit lane esports BMW M6 for the first half. That was meant to be piloted by Broccolilli. That wasn't. It was unfortunate. He did enter the room and then left, but the reserve driver wasn't able to come in, so we don't quite know what happened there.
Yeah, we had a loss of a reserve driver, and Spud put his hand up to jump in the BMW, put the paint job on, went out there with the stock setup.
Went out there standard tune and absolutely killed it. I think if it came home 4th in class.
Yeah, it certainly did. Gave Disappointed a very good opportunity right behind the It's Racing Esports car that's been driven by Justin in this leg. It's himself drove the opening leg to 3rd place. And that was a very good race. We just completed the first lap here. We've still got Spud, Eastwood, and the Lurox 22 as your top 3 in LMP. It looks like we've got
pretty much
John
Stan
in
it looks like John Stan, D. Huzo, and Disappointed in the top 3 in GTE so far.
That's exactly right, Benjo. It's looking good so far for the Corvette in GT as it dominated the opening.
Oh, that Corvette in the hands of Rubber Gear was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, he put a lap on the entire field in that one, and it was phenomenal.
I don't know how he did that.
As Spud already with 1.7 seconds advantage over Diswood as we head towards the final corner for this is our second lap of racing. Lap 3 on our screen, but we do the warm-up lap with the manual start.
Manual formation at 120 kilometers, single file.
That way it just makes it a bit better than with the standard rolling start that GT Sport provides. It sometimes puts people in some very precarious predicaments.
Oh, and then it sometimes doesn't let people actually get off the line properly, and yeah, so it's safer to do a manual rolling.
That's exactly
especially
right.
with racing.
Yeah, we like to do it properly here with the Trackstars series, as Adam Weller and Scally
It's very well organised.
having a little bit of battle between Porsche and Toyota for positions 4 and 5 on the racetrack as they come up onto the Great Hall Straight, once again heading towards the corkscrew.
Yes, and Adam Weller filling in for Xiaomi 5 in the EBM Motorsports car there. That lovely purple paint job.
It is absolutely beautiful. He's gone from the commentary box, he's rushed out, got his race gear on, got his helmet on, got in the car, and he's off and racing.
Oh, isn't he? Well, he's just a machine. To do 2-hour commentary stint and now to be able to do a 2-hour race stint in a car he's unfamiliar with is just phenomenal.
That's
We've
why
got Nismo on screen here. I do believe Nismo also featured in the Michelin Stars race that happened early this year. I think Nismo got the competition spot in that one.
very well done to him. It's good to see another one of our racers getting out there and showing off track stars to the big wide world. As we also have Aussie Copite right in behind him in the second of the Elite Breaker Mechanical Porsches.
And that gorgeous red.
Rounding out our prototype field.
Yes, that's very strong field of prototype cars. See how many of them can do the one stop here at Laguna Seca.
Yes, they were looking to do that
Spuds. Spud and Diswood are very quick on a controller, but are they able to save the fuel and the tyres as opposed to the guys on the wheels?
That's
Only time will tell.
We'll be finding that out over the next 1 hour and 52 minutes that we still have remaining in this race. Diswood has not let Spud get away. It's up only 9/10 of a second, just gone past the 1 second mark the gap as they head up the straight towards the kink leading towards the Rahal Straight.
Yes, the famous Rahal Straight that leads into the corkscrew, a 30-foot drop.
Not a corner like it in World Motorsport. There goes
it's
dropped through it perfectly that time round as he goes through the rainy curve, getting the curve absolutely perfect once again. Misses the apex there on the second last corner.
Yeah, slight miss of the apex.
Overran the last corner. That opens up the door. Here comes Diswood up on the inside. Diswood will lead the lap as they cross the line, and Spud will get it back, and it's absolutely side by side down into the Andretti hairpin. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Spud. It's going to be
dangerous on the outside.
And Diswood's going to get the spot.
Spud had to run a little wide there to give Diswood some room.
You don't want to be doing that too often.
No.
You and I both found out the hard way last weekend with the
last weekend with
series.
The PS2 and the Porsches.
Just
found out you don't want to.
Looks like we've lost Nismo from the race as it comes up on screen that he's left the room. That is unfortunate for him. So that's one of the EBM cars out. No, that's an EBM car. I apologise.
I think that might be a Vision Video and Gaming car. Possibly.
I do believe that is correct, as Diswood made an error coming out of the rainy code, got off the racetrack, and he's dropped back to third. Spud's back in front.
With Lurox tailing.
Lurox is going to be a very hard man to beat in that position as well. He's very quick, as we know from our time looking at the Trackstars Touring Car Series. Lurox is always up there in the Bravo Sport Racing Nissan GTRs, going very, very quickly. Spud getting out into the dirt once again on the exit of that corner. You don't want to be doing that around Laguna Seca. You lose all grip very, very quickly, and into the wrap traffic already. We're only on our 7th racing lap, and we're into the GT cars.
Who are we lapping there? Bozza 777
coming for you.
And
As we continue
Another
to
one
wa-
behind coming for you.
I'm not entirely sure there was another one behind coming for you, but we're still looking at our race leader, Spud from Mash Spuds Racing. He's got Lurox 22 right in behind him.
He's got that
This one's
Toyota
in
dialed in.
Adam Weller doing a great job there in Full Scalio 2 out of Belgium. So it's good to see some international representation in the Trackstars Endurance Series. As Scally and Devlin Calypso run as a team. And they run in the TS2 Touring Car Series as well with Benjo and myself.
Yeah, that's actually looking up to be quite a season for TS2, isn't it?
It has grown in numbers unbelievably. Like, I only came in myself before the round at Fuji, and the amount of cars that have come in since then as well is really good to see. It's almost blowing out to needing a TS3 series next year.
Well, yeah, that's what I think what the hope is, that maybe there is that third tier of touring car series, but time will tell. As we get back, it looks like Disappointed getting some lap traffic in the form of Diswood.
Disappointed.
On the outside there.
It looks like he's up into second place in GT with Justin 930 in the It's Racing Esports Aston Martin there in third. And it looks like D'Uzo's back there in fourth in the GT class.
Yeah, so that's going to be quite a battle there in GTE class. Disappointed, a very, very strong driver on a controller, so is as is Justin 930. I'm not sure if he's on a controller or a wheel, but he's a very strong driver nonetheless.
It's one of the beauties of the GT platform.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you're on wheel or controller if you've got the patience to sit there and work it out. You can be as quick as the next person.
That is exactly right. As we continue watching Justin 930 in the It's Racing Sports Aston Martin in the beautiful Cartel Equipment Hire livery that our friend It's Racing ran to third place in the opening portion of this 4 hours of the WeatherTech Laguna Seca.
Yes, he also has on there MB glass, which is Murray Bridge glass, and a couple of others. So I think it's Cartel, MB glass, the Trackstars Racing Series decals, of course. He's the main series organizer.
You can just call him boss.
Yeah, pretty much. He's the boss man behind the whole thing. Then we got one of the Huso brothers here, in the form of D Huso 14, running the number 18 Porsche 911 from CP Motorsports. I do believe Diswood drove this car to begin with tonight.
Yes, Diswood was in this car for the opening portion of the race for CP Motorsports, and he's now into the CP Motorsports Porsche LMP1 car for the second half of the race.
Yes, so he's double stinting.
4 hours around this track is a lot of laps.
Oh yeah, I think it works out to be, if the first race was anything to go off, probably about 200 odd laps.
It'll be around that figure.
More?
It's very close. I think we did 99 in the first race.
Yeah, so the second race sort of, some of the drivers push a little bit harder, so there might be a little bit of lap time droppage, and therefore maybe 1 or 2 more laps figured out. But as we enter lap number 12 here, Spud still leads, followed by Lurox and Diswood 1.
The gap's very stable at the moment between the 1 second and the 1.25 second mark between Spud and Lurox at this early stage of this race. We've just hit the 15-minute mark.
Yes, so 1 hour and 45. It has 1 hour and 45 minutes worth of racing to go here at Mazda Raceway, WeatherTech Laguna Seca.
Spud going purple in the second sector. They're out of the raining corner as he heads into the final corner to complete the lap. gets it a little wrong, manages to keep it inside the confines of the racetrack on the exit. But that'll be a 1:11.716.
Wow. That's a quick lap. I wonder if Spud just pitted for, because we're unable to see what his lap 13 time was there. And generally, if you're on a stream, that's sometimes an indication that a driver has made a pit stop.
I wouldn't think he would have pitted from the lead on the 10th lap of the race.
No, neither do I. But
very good. The fuel's around that quarter of a tank mark, so it looks like a lot of these guys are pushing for that one-stop strategy, saving a lot of fuel. Hence why we're seeing the times around that 1:11, 1:12 mark for most of our prototype runners. As once earlier, we're running in the 1:10s.
These prototype runners would have been watching the stream before, calculating the lap times, and probably running to a number that they need to make the one-stop strategy work for them. So I know Spud and Lurox can run very consistent laps.
They'll be looking to make about lap 50 on their fuel burn, so they'll know what their target numbers are, and they'll be getting to those target numbers very, very easily, as they have both dropped off Diswood, who's now 5 seconds behind Lurox. Back there in third. Adam Weller still doing a great job there in fourth, driving for the Elite Brake and Mechanical team in the 34. There's Adam on screen now.
And one of our main sponsors, Elite Brake and Mechanical, on screen as well. Their Beast Racer on the top of screen.
Yeah.
Cycling through EBM Track Stars Racing Series, which is on Facebook as well.
And if you're very much interested in coming and racing with us, jump onto
More
the
than
Facebook
welcome.
page. You've got the link to the Discord on the Facebook page, and you can come and join in the Discord. You can come racing with us. And if you're interested in the TS2 series, come race with us in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks' time at St. Croix C for the second of the endurance races for the touring car class, I believe.
Yes, I do believe. Just open up the Discord on the tablet while I'm looking at my computer screen. The perks of multitasking.
Yes, I do believe it is actually the... Where's calendar? It's to St. Croix 100, May 30th.
And that's our next one for the TS2 Touring Car Series 2 9-lap races. That'll be a good one, and that'll be followed by the St. Croix 250.
Yes, the Elite Brake and Mechanical Touring Car Series, which is sponsored. Yeah, all the main game.
They'll do a great job in GR2 cars. It's exciting to watch, and it's exciting to compete in the TS2 series for us guys. And we'll get awesome. Back to the action. Adam Weller, the gap between him and Diswood right now is 18.6 seconds. So the front three guys have really broken away from the rest of the prototype field, who are all there in a very small group. You can see that we've got Aussie Copite there in the fifth spot in the second EBM car. Less than a second behind Adam Weller, and Scalio 2 is not that far behind as well.
Oh, I'm surprised that Adam and Aussie Copite aren't sort of working together at this stage to maybe conserve a little bit of fuel, a little bit of tyres. I think Aussie's on a little bit less fuel than Adam Weller, if I'm looking at those figures right. It might be worth for Aussie to sit in the slipstream here and just not overtake his teammate. Maybe save a lap of fuel.
Adam's definitely in a better position fuel-wise. Thank you very much, Jarvin, for giving us that comparison through the direction on the stream. As we Once again, watch Adam Weller come through the corkscrew there with a very, very tight line as he works his way down through the mini curve. Towards the end of the lap,
Yes.
this is one of the most fun places to drive on the Laguna Seca circuit.
Yeah, the run down from the corkscrew to the bottom corner.
Adam runs very wide there out of the final corner. Here comes Aussie Cop up with a look up on the inside. Pulls back in line to get the draft. And then pulls out again as they head down towards the Andretti hairpin side by side.
Oh, careful, teammates.
And Aussie Copite will take the position. Adam's going to concede. And he'll sit in the draft even though he's in the better fuel situation with the fuel saving. And as we say, that's allowing Scalio 2 into the battle as well as we work our way through, having a look through the GT field. Budsy 76 in the car that was campaigned by Rugworth.
So I don't know.
For the race. They had an absolute shocker of a run and ended up at the tail of the field for most of the race.
I don't know what happened to Rugworth there. Normally he's quite consistent with these cars, and I think both of them quite like the Ferrari GT3 car. As we're just coming for you here, who's just slotting in behind Budsy. And the number 47 Aston Martin V12. Second, I think that's the second.
On the side of,
the pole backing. I think that's another Mash Spuds entry.
Xylon is a Mash Spuds driver in the TS2 Touring Car Series, so I would believe that is a Mash Spuds entry, as we've got the Shade On Porsche.
Shade On boys making a early pit stop.
Only just over 22 minutes into the race. That is very, very early. Brand new tyres going onto the Porsche. He's almost used half a tank of fuel, so he'll be filling that up to the brim.
Fill that up, and I can't remember if damage is on heavy or if it's on light, but if it's on heavy, it'll be to fix that front splitter damage as well, because these cars are very, very aero efficient. Get all the aero support they can have.
They are very aero sensitive, both the prototypes and the GT cars, and it's very easy to lose a lot of time with damage. It generally is a lot better just to come in, get the repairs done, especially when the damage model is set to heavy, as this would be. As we saw cars in the first half of the race, quite a few cars pitting with engine damage, as one of our prototypes was burning off a penalty there. It looked like the second of the Elite Brake and Mechanical Team cars, the one driven by Aussie Copite.
This which now looks like it's under pressure from Scalio 2 as well there, Beast Racer.
Yeah, Scally's right in there as well, right behind Adam Weller, so it's a 3-car battle for fourth, as Scally just gets out into the dirt a little bit, loses a bit of time. You don't want to be doing that too often, even in a race as long as this one.
Oh, because as soon as you go a lap down around here, it's very, very hard to build it back up.
This is the racetrack that is all about the momentum and keeping the rubber band wound up very tight. You don't want to be making mistakes. The Scalio too looked like he made another huge mistake coming through the kick onto the red hole straight. He was very sideways, but he's managed to gather it back in and keep the car going, and he hasn't lost a lot of ground. He's only 3/4 of a second behind Aussie Copite in the 477 Elite Brake and Mechanical Porsche, as he works his way past to put a lap down on Disappointed in the Pit Lane Esports BMW that was driven by Spud, who's in front now in the Spud's Racing.
Toyota there, yeah. Yes, confirming now that the number 74 that Budsy is in is a Mash Spuds entry.
It's good to see the
quite a powerful
team
car,
having putting a lot of entries out there in all the series.
Yeah, very, very strong outfit there from Mash Spuds Racing.
And we've got the fastest Spud of them all, and Spud P666 still out in the lead. There he is, completing the 20th lap. We're on to lap 21 already in this race, and we've just gone past the 25-minute mark.
This race is going to be quick.
Spud's managed to pull away from
Gonna be-
Lurox by 5.6 seconds in the time, and it looks like he has made a pit stop back there on lap 17. The P is coming up on the screen there on the lap time chart. But
Oh, it is too. We must have missed that.
But the lap times are actually saying that he was doing very quick lap times as well, so it's a little bit confusing there as he works his way through some of the GT fielding. Once again, as Budsy gets it all wrong in front of the leader. That was very, very close for Spud right then, as Budsy got it very sideways through the first part of the corkscrew. That's allowed coming for you 194 to close right in as we move back to this battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Aussie Copper is now up into 4th. Scalio 2's moved into the 5th spot, and Adam Weller's dropped back from 4th to 6th.
Wonder if we've seen a mistake from Adam Weather that we haven't seen on screen then.
That is very possible. Adam recently has got himself into Logitech wheels, so he's in the learning stages of that, so there possibly could have been just a slight mistake as he's getting used to driving with the wheel.
And we might be seeing the first of the green flag pit stops here.
Yeah, this
would to the pits. I wonder if this is strategic so he doesn't have to pit around that lap 50 mark when they all do, and he can just keep going with the full of fuel.
You'd be looking to make the race on one more stop from here, so you'd be looking at getting just over 45 minutes out of a tank of fuel. So he won't have to save as hard as he would if he was trying the one-stop strategy. So this could be a master stroke, or this could be go very, very wrong for him very quickly.
It'll be interesting to see where Diswood finishes here. Far behind, so he's currently 16 behind Adam Weller there.
Unfortunately, we just have the 6 cars still
It's
on
racing.
the track.
Hold on there, Beast Racer. I've just had message from It's Racing. Damage for Diswood is the reason for the early pit stop there.
That would do it. As I said before, with the damage, it will be a lot quicker just to get into the pits, get that damage repaired, and come up with a plan B for the strategy, which
looks like what he's done on the fly. Yeah.
I'm live with you, by the way, gents.
G'day, Adam. How are you?
Not too bad, sir. Not too bad. Just trying to keep my nose clean.
They're sitting in 4th in LMP there. Looks like we weren't sure what happened when you dropped back down to 6th place there, mate.
So effectively, out of the last corner, I would just tickle the throttle a tad too much. Managed to avoid going into the barrier.
Just driving.
For lack of a better term, I avoid going into the barrier full frontal. But I did just nick it, but thankfully no damage as a result. Of course, the incident for Diswood that you were just discussing, critical for myself, because Diswood, in terms of the classifications at the end of the last race, is my closest competition. I was never looking at unlapping myself on Lurox and Spud. I don't have delusions of grandeur quite to that extent. My goal really is to just make sure I don't get lapped by Diswood, I want to say twice. As long as I don't get lapped by him twice, I believe I keep the podium for EBM, which is all I really want from today.
Yeah, that'll be really nice to see those boys in CP Motorsports.
Oh, incident!
Big
Aussie.
Incident. Can we get a replay on that one? Any chance It's racing?
It's Bozza 777 in the Corvette, the RoboSport Racing livery car, and he's just got out into the no man's land right in front of Aussie.
Right in front of Aussie and took out Aussie.
Looking at the way Aussie recovered from that, I'm assuming he has damage because he's fallen off me and Scally.
Yeah, he's suffering some pretty big damage right now. He's got some engine damage and some splitter damage.
Oh, engine, that's bad.
Will be a triple
Yeah,
hit for Aussie Copite in the 477. Diswood's not that far behind as well, only 8 seconds, despite his pit stop for damage.
That's the other EBM car, of course.
It's confirmed Aussie Copite in the pits.
Boz has
left.
left.
Boz has had a disconnect, potentially.
That's unfortunate for Bosner and the RoboSport racing team. As we wait on this pit stop for Aussie Copite, as we get a good view of the pit crew standing there waiting for him.
It's a very long traverse down the pit lane here at Laguna Seca.
And if you look at the pit lane in real life, it doesn't look that long.
It's not. I think they go for a burger on their way to the pit stalls. It seems to be what the animation does.
Yes, I know they adjusted some of the pit lane times in one of the latest updates.
Yes, they made them much longer.
They're not sure what tracks were affected, as they've also just recently edited the fuel burn ratio and tyre wear ratios in the last update. So we're not sure what has happened there.
There was some controversy here about a year ago with the dailies. Of course, the minute penalty you get these days for not using both compounds used to be only 20 seconds, and this was the only track where the pit stop exceeded 20 seconds at the time. So a bunch of people just didn't bother with the mandatory hard compound, took the 20-second penalty, and actually gained an advantage from it.
Oh,
that's
God.
part of the reason. That's the reason they put it to a minute. They did it literally the next week.
That would have been the same with the daily race at Bathurst a while back with the 9-lap race, where it was a lot quicker to come in and pit every lap instead of driving around the actual circuit. And that's
gosh.
They changed the pit length times and spaced them right out.
Yeah, I think Bathurst went from being about a 23-second pit stop to like almost 30 seconds.
So looking at disappointed at the moment in the BMW that Spud drove in the first half of the race. The quarters would be coming up a lot faster for Spud this time round, being about 12 seconds a lap faster. That's a fantastic job, not only by Spud but by Discord as well, to do double duty in a 4-hour race. And the message has come through from It's Racing. Bathurst was under a 10-second stop before they changed it, so that would definitely be a very good reason to change it.
That's not even a realistic pit time. 10 seconds at Bathurst?
They never were. None of them were realistic before the update. At least now they feel like, I guess, single-seater or DTM pit stops, which still isn't ideal if you're running GT cars, but at least it's something.
Ah.
Ooh, GT traffic at the corkscrew for the first time in my life. This should be good.
Well, we're looking at Spud out there on his lane, so he's got 10 seconds now over Lurox.
Where has he pulled that 10 seconds from?
He's doing very, very quick lap times. He's doing 1:11s the last 2 laps. Look at that, 1:11.694 on lap 26, and 1:11.695 on lap 27. That is absolutely perfect. That is 1,000th of a second difference.
Just in regards to what we were saying earlier with the Bathurst 10-second stop, apparently Suzuka was a 4-second tyre change.
It takes a lot longer than that just to get into the pit lane than Suzuka, let alone actually transfer.
Let alone do a tyre change.
If I was pit crew, I think it would take me 4 seconds to notice that a car had arrived. Anyway, chaps,
it's a modern F1 pit.
I was just going to say, chaps, I'm going to mute myself again for a bit once I get to the main straight again. I've got Scale on my trumpet, so I need to zone back in on that.
No worries, buddy.
All
Talk to you later.
Good luck, bud. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
And just as we say that, we pan our way onto Scully, and he is right on the trumpet of Adam Weller. 1 second the difference. These boys putting on a race as they go past the lap car, disappointed. Now, I do believe Justin wasn't that far behind in the It's Racing Esports. So Scully's gone off the track.
Oh, Scully's in. Oh, that almost took out the disappointed there in the GTE class as well.
Well, that's taken the pressure off Adam. He'll be happy about that. It's now out
So-
to 8 seconds.
Did Scully just lose it on his own there, or?
It looked like he just missed his brake marker and just went off the end, into the Andretti hairpin and spun it on the thing. He's off the track again.
He's off
There's
again.
Something's definitely going on with the car from Belgium. He's just driven off the track. What's the
Wonder if
scene
he's
of
getting-
too many Jim's mowing ads?
Good old Jim's mowing. Except there's not much grass here at Laguna Seca. It's all sandy. As he's trying to come around now, he's got Spud on his rear.
Made it nice
Then
and
this-
easy for Spud there, being the lap
Yes,
car,
going.
which is fantastic. And Spud's just coming
Oh,
to problems
no,
with the
Spud's
Corvette.
gone
He's
off.
off the track. We'll get a
I don't know
replay
what's
of
happened
that.
there. Is he? There's come around the inside
Scully's
here
hung
of
out the way.
Lee. And then I wonder if Jono just didn't see him.
That is
Yeah,
quite
but
possible.
surely you'd think these guys, knowing it's a multi-class race, would have their radars on the display HUD there so that they can see if a faster car is approaching.
You would think that would be the case, but sometimes, especially when these guys are trying to save a lot of fuel, they'll have the fuel reading up instead of the radar. And not every camera view gives you the mirror automatically either.
No, I think only the actual bumper cam gives you the rear view mirror.
So again, looking at Disappointed, who's actually now in the lead of the GTE class. Benjo, he's doing
Well,
a
he's
ripper
going to be
job up
absolutely happy with that.
front. Just at 9:30 in the It's Racing Esports, Aston Martin, he's just 4.5 seconds behind in second. So that'll make the boss very, very happy.
Yes, some very, very nice looking cars here as well with It's Racing Esports and Pit Lane Esports entry. I was talking to Disappointed when he designed the car himself, and he wanted to actually go for a stealthy approach but still representing the Pit Lane Esports colours.
And it's come out absolutely brilliantly, that BMW. Same with the Aston Martin, the It's Racing team. It's
Yeah,
Racing always put out beautiful race cars, as we know with the Honda NSXs in the touring car series. They always
yes,
come out immaculate. They're very, very easy to spot on the racetrack.
yep, very, very nice liveries.
And then you get me.
You'd
in
almost
the TS2 Then you get me in the TS2 series that just has the bright pink.
Can't go wrong with bright pink, mate. It stands out, nice and easy to spot.
Well, that was the whole reason for doing it. Is I wanted not only to have a colour that no one else had, I wanted to make myself easy to see, so there was no excuses for running into me.
Oh yeah, and what happens? we still get bumping and barging going on, but that's the nature of the beast that is Gran Turismo.
That is exactly right, mate. As we're looking at the Corvette of Jono 96, this car lapped the field in the opening segment of this race over 2 hours. And it's got a lot of Grand Theft Auto inspired sponsor logos on that car. For different products that
I
are
think
in the
it's
GTA brand.
got one of the main alcoholic beverages from the GTA franchise there on the side of it. A couple of ammunition sponsors on it as well. I will admit, it's not a bad looking race livery though.
It is a beautiful livery, and the Corvette doing what it usually does. It's got a lot of torque, a lot of horsepower. He's not even revving it right out either. If you can see there on the display that they are short shifting that car. He's got 3/4 of a tank of fuel, so he's obviously pitted at some point. As we're now over 40 minutes into this car race. As we look at D'Uso in the CP Motorsports Porsche, letting Aussie Copite.
Giving way to Aussie Copite there. In the 477 in BBM.
So Justin's going to take the lead in the GTE class as Disappointed brings the Pit Lane Esports BMW into the pits. 9 litres of fuel left in the car, so he's definitely going 2 stops.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be going 2 stops, especially pitting this early.
Well, 1 minute 18.
It's strategic.
1 hour 18 is a very long way to go on fuel in any type of race car, let alone a GT car that generally on a good day would get you to maybe an hour.
Yeah, maybe an hour's worth, maybe an hour 10 if you're good on fuel saving.
More damage, chaps.
Yes, I just... Is that Diswood with more damage there, Adam?
He's in
it is too.
Yeah, he
lost damage.
Yeah, he lost about 15 seconds to me on that last lap, so I had a feeling he was coming in.
Yeah, I still don't know what's actually happened to Diswood there in the CP Porsche, but
we've also got Justin 930 in the It's Racing Aston Martin from our GT class coming into the pits as we turn our attentions onto Adam Weller, who's very much now on his lonesome in 3rd place. He's got 30 seconds to catch up on Lurox, and he's 25 seconds in front of Scalio too, so he's very much out there on his own.
Last time we spoke, Lurox was 45 seconds ahead of me, so I'm assuming something's happened to him as well.
Very, very possible. Unless it's the... Oh, that was Aussie that happened to, that little bit of damage. When, Ozza spun it, unfortunately.
We're looking at Lurox now.
Lurox is nursing some front end damage, but he's staying out for another lap, so I wonder...
Had it for about 6-7 laps, guys.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I wonder if he's had it for a few laps and he's just now waiting for his pit window to repair that damage, because it doesn't seem to be phasing him too much, although he's slowing down quite a bit for the Andretti hairpin.
You do that anyway since it is a hairpin, but he is still doing 112s and 113s. You can see there lap 30, 127.207, so that's where he lost the time. But he's now 24 seconds behind Spud in the lead, as we're already on the 36th lap of the race, as we're about to approach the 45-minute mark. There's our race leader coming through the final corner and onto the front straight. Still got just over 1/4 of a tank of fuel to go, so he's going to definitely go to the hour.
We'll be doing the 1-stop Spud for sure, I reckon.
That puts that team in a very, very good position. Spud, who's very, very consistent. He does have that 121 on lap 30 himself, but the rest of the times are all 1 minute 11 and 1 minute 12s. As we now look at
Uzo's second in class on GTE, about to be overlapped here by the Match Spuds racing entry.
It's the leader by on the Red Horse Straight, nice and easily. setting a good example for other drivers with how they conduct themselves around faster traffic. He's only 14 seconds off the lead in the class. Jono Stan 96 in the Corvette has got the lead again in the GTE class, with the pit stops that disappointed at just at 9:30, who are sitting there in third and fourth in class right now, Ben.
Yeah, they are, mate. Looking very strong.
We saw It's Racing and Spud having an excellent battle in the same cars just an hour or so ago.
Yeah, you were very lucky enough to be the commentator for that part of the race, Adam, while we were sitting there watching the stream and enjoying yourselves, as Coming For You 194 has entered the pit lane with only 2 litres of fuel. So he's made it 46 minutes.
So, Coming For You may actually be able to do a one stop there. I apologise for that little bit. I just had a microphone disconnect.
The most I saw out of any car in terms of fuel in GT, I think, was 52 minutes out of It's Racing, so I think Coming For You would do well to get an hour out of the tank.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to make it 1 hour and 13 minutes on a tank of fuel. As we get a message pop up from the boss himself, who spent 2 hours in an Aston Martin, so he knows you definitely cannot go one stop with the Aston Martin in this 2 hour distance.
No. Unfortunately, I was a little bit mistaken there.
And looking now at Budsy 76, who's at the tail of the field. Lurok's out very wide out the final corner, putting him another lap down.
Yeah, but Budsy was doing the right thing there, moving over.
33 seconds now behind Spud, the leader, as Scalio 2's in for his first stop in that Toyota, with some very unique artworks on the side.
Yeah, these
TSO50.
These LMP cars are very, very difficult to get a livery right in the livery editor. You need to know what you're doing to get the best effort out of the liveries.
Yeah,
because of the way the body forms around the car.
Yeah, especially in front of those rear tyres on the Toyota, anything you get that slightly forms over the edge of the bodywork really stretches out across the bodywork and doesn't really look that great.
No, I know when me and another gridline member were looking at the LMP cars for this series, and we were looking at the liveries, we sort of just didn't even touch LMPs because of the way that the body forms over the rear wheels. It was too hard to get a decent looking livery in the car. As we see the Shadon Racing entry here coming up through the corkscrew.
He's coming up through the corkscrew, he's going the wrong way.
Alright, well, coming to the corkscrew then, I should say.
Could very well say he was coming down the corkscrew towards the end of the lap. He's very much out there on his own as well. He's got 25 seconds either way. He's back there in 11th outright, which would put him, I think, about 5th in class right now.
Yeah, 4th or 5th in class, and I think that would be... It would be 5th in class. Don't know where they finished in the first stint, but that would be a very good result for the Shadon boys after Mountain Goat 13 got their first ever Truck Stars win in the TS2 series.
Fairly sure they finished. They finished 5th in the first race, I'm fairly sure as well.
Okay, well that'd still be a very good... Yeah, be a very good result after the Mountain Goats touring car debut for them last weekend. I believe he got a win in one of those races there as well.
Not stand 96, just touching the dirt on his way up towards the Rahal Straight. Currently the leader in the GTE class. He's got 19 seconds now over D Uzo. And he's still got half a tank of fuel in that car, so he'll be a while yet before he's in the pits, probably for the second time, because I doubt you would get 50 minutes out of half a tank of fuel in a Corvette.
If you look at his lap times, he's had 3 visits to the pits at 27, 28 and 29 respectively. So I wonder if that was damage.
You look at those lap times as well, and they're very much in regular lap time territory, not pit stop territory, as he gets over the sausage curve there in the middle of the Andretti hairpin. It's racing, just letting us know that possibly the P might stand for penalty too. Whether they picked up a penalty on that lap.
Oh, and cross the finish line with it. It very well could be.
One of the many interesting things about GT sport that we'll all learn on the fly.
I used to think that was a pit button. Or a pit icon, sorry, not a pit button.
I thought that as well. It meant pits, as Jono's getting the blue flag warning as he's potentially got a prototype coming up behind him very, very quickly.
Yeah, it looks like the prototype there of Lurox 22, who's commonly known in our Discord and the YouTube channel as Hide and Seek. I don't know where that nickname came from.
He's not doing a very good job of hiding right now. We can see him very clearly on the racetrack.
Yeah.
As the Shadon Porsche was serving him front straight in the manner that's been described to us in our drivers' briefings that we all have to read before every Chicken Stars event.
Yeah, all the drivers' briefings are very carefully thought out by It's Racing and Spud P666 to try and make the racing as fair and as clean as possible for everyone.
That's exactly right. It's generally pretty obvious when you get a driver who hasn't read the driver's briefing, because they're very much not paying attention to what they're meant to be doing, as we're riding on board with our race leader, who's now out by 45 seconds.
I think we're going to be staying here with Spud for a few minutes, as just had a message pop up in our little Discord group from the boss man saying that he'll be back in a minute.
Fair enough.
We'll be staying on Spud.
With you out there very, very wide on the Rahal Straight. Opening the door very, very wide for Spud.
Well, a little bit Kaylee there from Spud.
That's one way to look after your teammates, just drive off the track there, let him by.
Let's try and see if we can actually stay on board for a lap here with the series leader as well, LMP1, and see how he does it so smoothly on an actual PlayStation 4 controller.
As you can see, he's short shifting coming down the straight towards the Andretti hairpin. Backs it down into second gear. Gets the double apex very, very good. Using a little bit more revs to go from second into third, but very smooth is our race leader under the Cooper Tyres bridge. Gone purple in the first sector as well. So
a good amount then.
He's on a fly despite being short shifting with the fuel saving to make sure he gets that 1 hour into the car race. We're 1 hour and 5 minutes to go.
Under the WeatherTech bridge. Yeah, coming into the corkscrew here.
He's closing in very quickly on our co-commentator, Adam Weller.
Oops, Scallo's scared himself off track ahead of us both.
He's gone purple again. Oh, little tail wag. I wonder if we've given him the commentator's curse there. There, Beast Racer.
We'll find out. We'll get the sack if we cursed him.
That's for sure, mate.
1:11.305.
That's still a
0.012
very
off
respectable
his-
lap time.
As Adam Weller lets him by very, very cleanly in the Andretti hairpin. We're now on lap 46 of this race already. Where has the time gone? We've got an hour and 4 minutes to run. And in this portion of the race, we've got 2 cars on the lead lap. As our race leader is now coming up onto John O'Sten 96, our leader in GTE.
Or getting a little taily there. Corvette.
It was very good for Spud that he got him on the straight and not in the middle of a corner.
Oh, that could have been disastrous for Spud if he got him in the corner.
You just have to admire these lines. It's just so smooth. And for those of us who are watching along on our YouTube live stream, take notes.
Notes every time I sit there and watch Spud drive. It's just, one of those things that you wish you could do.
As Adam Weller comes into the pits. Adam, did you have any fuel left as you came in?
0.2 of a lap.
Stretching it very thin.
I was trying to make the hour, but I wasn't really fuel saving for the first 20 minutes. I was just trying to survive, so hopefully I can stretch it to an hour and 3 in this second stint.
Just play with the fuel mix, mate. You'll be fine.
I have done. I was running mix 2 and 3 for the last 15 or so minutes.
You'll definitely make the rest of the race fine, mate. You did a lot better than Punts did in the opening portion. He went 52 laps and ran out coming down the hill from the rainy corner.
He did better. He just slightly miscalculated. Yes, he had a very economical hybrid for the first last few corners of his first stint.
It's just absolutely advantageous here at Laguna Seca that the end of the lap is all downhill. So if you do run out of fuel, just slot it in the neutral and away you go.
Well, if he'd made the same mistake 2 corners from home at Spa, he'd have been doing 50 for a fair while, and that could have changed the complexion of the race.
Oh yeah, I do think Spa's the next stop for our endurance races as well. This race, I think it's a 6 hour of Spa.
That'll be a very exciting race, that's for sure. I'll look at the Discord, I'll look at that.
Sorry, it's the 6 hours of Le Mans.
Yeah, the 6 hours of Le Mans on June 6th is our next one. Then
In the 6th, so
4 hours at Spa and 4 hours at Interlagos. In October and November, respectively, to round out our endurance calendar.
So next round at Spa, that'll be a very that'll be a very interesting round next one.
This goes to show that we've got a lot of good races coming up on the Track Stars Racing Series YouTube channel. A lot of our streamed races, our TS2 and Touring Car Series, we're brought to you by Elite Brake and Mechanical. We also have the Formula Track Stars and Formula 2 Track Stars series. So if you're not subscribed, hit that red button and you'll get notified of, and make sure you press that bell and get notified of every time we have a stream race here on the Track Stars Racing Series.
Which is normally every Sunday night, because I'm pretty sure we try to live stream all our races that we do here.
Yeah, everything except the Clubman's on Thursday gets a stream from either for now, myself, or It's Racing or Spud. Unfortunately, I'll have to, as I mentioned on the first part of the race, I'm going to have to bow out soon, but real life racing.
Yeah, well, we'll keep you around as long as we can, mate.
It looks like us two are going to be covering for you while you're off doing real motorsport. Be doing Sunday nights sometimes after being at a speedway track on a Saturday night, doing my job.
Yeah, it is amazing.
One year. Sorry, Adam. What were you saying there, mate?
I was just going to say it's amazing if you look at track stars. Certainly for me, relative to some of the leagues that I race in rather than commentate on, the actual number of people who get their hands dirty in real life motorsport in some capacity is really quite high. I mean, obviously, It's Racing is a sprint car driver. Myself commentating. I know that Disappointed and a few of the others are involved with marshalling, scrutineering at events.
Yes, we thank all our volunteers, racers, everything. Without them, we wouldn't have a show to put on.
That is exactly right. There's a lot of jobs that a lot of people don't see behind the scenes in motorsport to get done. From everything from cleaning racetracks to filling out license application forms. It's all these jobs that have to be done in motorsport. And those guys are the real heroes. Like, we can have all our guys that are on the track, no matter where they are in the world, whether it's at a real circuit or even online in these leagues that we all compete in. We wouldn't be able to do the fun going around the track part if it wasn't for everybody who works behind the scenes.
Yes, and I know myself, when I go to the truck days with my old man, because he does the regularity racing, I jump out and do the marshalling and even jump in the timers box and help out. And if you've got the skills to help out, use them.
That's exactly right.
Makes events so much easier.
Guys, massive development. Larox just tried to enter the pit lane, but he failed to do so. He's lost a lap.
He's lost a lap.
Yeah, because if you miss the pit lane, it ghosts you back to the start line.
Oh no!
So he is now behind me on track.
Yep, and we've just seen that too. And he's now got a half-second penalty for it too.
He's used the burn-off zone coming out from under the Cooper Tyres bridge to burn that penalty off, and he's going very, very slowly. He's got damage. Spud's in the pits as well from the lead. He's made it 1 hour and 2 minutes as well.
No. Lurox hasn't got damage. He's run out of fuel.
He's also got run out of damage as well.
Yes, so but Lurox is out of fuel.
So he is stuck at 80 kilometers an hour and get back to the pits. This is worst case scenario for any driver. Even Laguna Seca, that's only 3.6 kilometers around, it's a very long trip at 80 kilometers an hour. He's going to lose laps.
Is he just now at the corkscrew?
He's just coming down through the corkscrew now, Adam, yep.
Yep. Oh no, this means I've actually got to start racing Lurox of all people. I'm not ready for that. Because this has implications, of course, for second place in the actual overall 4 hour, because he's a lap ahead of me, or he was, and now I've got this opportunity, and I've got to not let EBM down. Great!
This is very
you'll be right, mate.
Spud the race on a platter.
Yes, very much so. Just put your head down, mate, concentrate, and you'll be fine.
Lurox all the way back now in 6th spot, out of fuel with damage.
That is so unfortunate for the guy that was challenging Spud for the overall race win from Robo Sport.
And thinking about it, I have to defer to It's on this, but I don't actually know whether this car got lapped by second place. I don't know if Little Blacko actually lapped Brandosa in the first race. So, depending on that scenario, I might already be ahead of Lurox in terms of the overall 4 hour.
We'll definitely have to ask It's about that one, but that lap for Lurox was 3 minutes 55.4.
Who was in that car prior to
Little
Lurox?
Blacko.
Adam?
Yeah, Blacko.
and they finished on the same lap, it says just put the message through. 36
Oh,
seconds
jeez.
was the gap.
Oh, jeez.
36-second gap.
So I've now got him by over a lap, I believe.
You're doing a very
No
solid
pressure.
job there, mate.
Just missed the apex, but thank you. It's certainly, I mean, I'll be completely upfront with you. I barely drive Group 1 cars. I've maybe done 3 dailies with Group 1 cars ever. I've certainly never driven a Group 1 car around here before. So this is definitely a learning curve.
Group 1 around here is an absolute learning curve. As I think we've got Jono Stand coming into the pits here, Beast Racer.
And just 4 litres left of fuel in the tank, so he is probably actually going to have to possibly stop again from here as well.
Most likely, the Corvette's not great on fuel.
Looks like that 96 entry is going to take a fresh set of Goodyear.
The Goodyear tyres are making it very much a comeback
compulsory.
in real-world motorsport these days.
Yeah, they've got the NASCAR deal, and I think they've just secured a couple of teams in GT3 racing as well.
Well, so effectively, they've taken over Dunlop's mantle in the World Endurance Championship. Goodyear and Dunlop are owned by the same people, and they made the decision to take Dunlop out and stick Goodyear in for LMP2.
So Le Mans and BTCC as well, then.
Yes, BTCC is also Goodyear now, yep.
That's very interesting that Goodyear have decided that they've taken Dunlop out, because Dunlop was very much a European brand at one point, although we do use them in our own V8 Supercar series as a Dunlop Supermax. So I wonder if in the coming years we'll take Goodyear as well.
Quite possibly. I understand, certainly from the LMP2 teams, I was there for the inaugural Goodyear race in the World Endurance Championship at Silverstone in 2019, and I understand that there was very little difference between the two tyres from Dunlop and Goodyear. Obviously some shared data given the same parent company, so hopefully if the Aussies do take it, they won't have to worry too much.
Sorry, we've got Diswood just lapping some GT3 cars here, coming around the final corner.
A lap on coming for you as well.
Yeah. Wonder
Diswood is, of course, closing in on me as well.
See, I wonder if Goodyear and Dunlop are just starting to phase the Dunlop brand out and just run it under the one brand with the same tyres.
Certainly looks it.
Bit of a shame, really, because it was always nice to see the tyre wars between with internal companies. So a little bit Taylor there coming up to. Sorry, Beast Racer.
Overall in motorsport now, you don't see too many series. I think an entire war. I think realistically it's only the Super GT series to a large extent is a legitimate tournament.
Yes, because I think they have Bridgestone and Michelin, don't they? Over in Japan?
Bridgestone, Michelin, Yokohama and Dunlop.
Yeah,
so they've
and
got
the Dunlop and the Dunlop in Japan, weirdly, because about 5 different people own the rights to Dunlop across the world, the Dunlop in Japan isn't actually the same Dunlop. So they will not be replaced by Goodyear anytime soon in Japan, I don't think.
Oh, okay. I would have thought that Dunlop, being the size that it is, would have just had maybe 1 or 2 parent companies, but...
Oh, you'd have thought so, but they've sold that brand far and wide. I believe, there's also like Dunlop shoes and stuff like that. That's all completely different people as well. It's a very well-used brand at this stage.
As we just click over 50 minutes to go in the 4-hour Laguna Seca here for the Trackstars Endurance Series. We're looking at Diswood, who's currently running in the 3rd place, just under 5 seconds behind 2nd place Adam Weller, who is actually here with us in commentary while driving the car. Something you used to see on the old Channel 7 Bathurst broadcast back in the day.
Yeah, very much doing a Dick Johnson, Peter Brock.
This one
Yes, I think
into big trouble with John O'Stan 96, getting it sideways coming into the last corner of that lap.
Well, I'm running Fuel Mix 3 here in order to not pit again, and he has not really been gaining on me terribly much, so I wouldn't mind betting he's also in fuel save mode at the moment.
Well,
Yeah, he's short shifting that.
And he'll definitely have to stop again. He's only got half a tank of fuel remaining, so the advantage about it being in the commentary box is he's getting insider info on his competitors from the commentary.
There'll be a steward's inquiry into this. Especially because I can also choose not to tell you anything of my race.
We've still got Spud out in the lead. He's been there the whole time for this stint for Spud. He's already done one stint in the first half of the race, driving the Pit Lane Esports BMW in the GTE class.
Now he's jumped in a...
He's in the Toyota for Mash Spuds Racing for his own in-house team.
He gets around, does that Spud?
He does too, doesn't he?
And this was also doing double duty, driving 2 CP Motorsport Porsches in this race, one in the GT and one in the prototype.
Well, funny enough, I was meant to be in that CP Motorsports car. I then chickened out last night and said, does anyone more capable actually want to take this seat, because I'm not sure I can handle it. Diswood's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do both races, and now I'm ahead of him. So I'm in another Porsche, so I don't quite know how to feel.
I so nearly jumped in that Porsche as well, Adam. It was just a matter of timing because I didn't know what I'd be doing for the first stint because I was actually out for a little bit this evening. And
I've ruined the rest of my afternoon, but it's fine.
As we're looking at Lirox 22 on screen, back there in the 6th spot. As you can see there on our screen, he had a shocker of lap number 50 as he tried to enter the pits with very little fuel and missed the pit lane, and the game reset him to the start line, which makes him do another complete lap. And he did not have enough fuel to make it round and ran out of fuel and had to travel at the obligatory 80 k's an hour to make it round.
That is so excruciating, driving these cars at 80 kilometers an hour.
Well, it's such a double punch as well, because lest we forget, the ghosting, the resetting back to the start line, was a lost lap, and then he lost another lap plus in the process of getting the car around, yeah.
You'd almost hope, in some sense, because Lurox was on the lead lap when that happened, the race officials might do something there to just see what they can do to help him out.
Well, I mean, it was his mistake, so I think it would be controversial to give him a lap back for his own mistake.
Yeah.
Certainly I'd argue it.
I have to admit, if I was a driver in the race, I'd be arguing it too. The gap between Adam and Diswood has dropped down to just under 2.5 seconds now. It was up to around the 5 second a few laps back.
Correct.
But poor Lurox, he's got a lot of work to do. He was 50 seconds behind Scalio too, as we were looking at him just before. But he's still got 45 minutes to make a comeback.
Would be a hell of a comeback from there.
Oh, it'd be one hell of a comeback, but if anyone's capable, it'd be someone of Lurox's capabilities and character. He'll just be heads down, getting the job done.
Yeah.
position with the first stint, so should be interesting.
Right, I'm going to be muting you boys on the main straight because myself and Woodsy are beginning to
Have a battle.
get to that point. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Cheers.
Get the gap down to 1.5 seconds as they start lap 61.
60 laps of racing and it's second and third, 1.5 seconds. That's phenomenal.
It just goes to show how close modern motor racing is. And like, yes, there is a 1 minute 42 or over a lap gap forward to N-Spud P666, who has absolutely dominated this segment of the race. That car has actually dominated the entire race.
Yes, and I believe that also won the opening round as well. The opening 2 rounds, because I think we're into round 3 now.
This is round 3,
Bruce.
correct?
So that'll put Mash Spud's Toyota into a very good spot for the championship fight.
That is exactly right. They just about have one hand on the cup at this stage. Or just gotta think.
Oh, sorry, Lurox and Blacko won round 2, but either way, regardless, that's going to put a very good position in the hands of Mash Buds Racing.
This
The
one
championship.
just got past Adam.
Yeah, as we've just seen a pass there for second place on the race circuit.
This one kicking up a little bit of dust out of the Androni hairpin that time round.
Yes.
But to see a pass for position on lap 62 of the race doesn't happen in too many forms of motorsport. As we move to looking at
Second place in GT3 at this point in time.
He's only 20 seconds off the lead in GT as well. And he's got just under 10 seconds over Justin 930 in the It's Racing Esports Aston Martin as well. As we see Diswood come past this
And
put him
surely Adam to pass on the main straight here as well.
Just holds
maybe not.
wide and
Get
lets
too far
Adam
back.
straight up the inside.
Yeah, good driving there by Disappointed.
He's one of those drivers. He was the winner of the Blue Moon Bay 500 for the Trackstars Touring Car Series. And let's just say he wasn't disappointed that night.
No, certainly not. But he's a gentleman driver. I've driven with him quite a few times, and he's really respectful on and off the track.
He's like us in a lot of ways. He doesn't want to ruin anybody else's races that are faster than him. He wants to go as fast as he can to get as best good a result as he can, but just not ruin anybody else's races in the process.
Oh, so we just had sorry, Beast Racer, we just had some information come through from the boss man. DJS will have to gain 40 seconds on Justin 930 to take that position from him in the overall 4-hour race.
That's exactly right. This is a racing 2 parts. There is 2 2-hour races to make up the 4 hours of Laguna Seca here tonight for the Trackstars Endurance Series.
That factor, that 2 hours, I don't know if you were still on camera with me when Diswood went past, but I made it easy for him, principally because I know he's got another stop coming, and secondly, we're not racing each other particularly right now in terms of the overarching 4 hour.
Yeah.
And I feel guilty because I was meant to be in that car.
And we just had some other interesting information just come through, Beast Racer. Justin has to gain 57 seconds, so almost a full minute over D Huzo 14 to take that position off of D Huzo as well.
Yeah, there's only 28.4 seconds between them at the moment. But there is still just under 40 minutes to go of this race. But two-thirds of the way through already.
Yes, anything can and will happen.
Looked like there was an incident there for Aussie Cockeye. Has he come back onto the racetrack?
I think he did that on his own. I'm not too sure. Can we get a replay? Thank you. Yeah, he's just done that on his own. He's overshot the brakes.
Yeah, he's only lost. He's only lost about 5 seconds to me, so it clearly wasn't a big one. Thankfully.
And finding out exactly what's happening to his teammate by being in the commentary.
Well, I had a feel. As long as he didn't pit, I would have known that he went off and cost himself about 5 seconds. But
yeah,
I'd have figured that out anyway.
Just watching the It's Racing number 95 Aston Martin just roll around here with the race leader, and Spud about to overtake him. Coming up under the VP bridge into the left-hand kink. On the run to the corkscrew.
I'll tell you what then, Joe, we'll see a lot of this car throughout the rest of this race because Jarman will like looking at his own car.
Yeah, the boss man will like looking at his own car.
Like a parakeet, obsessed with his own reflection.
I will admit, it is a nice looking livery with the greens and the reds.
It's got a bit of 2004 F1 Jaguar vibes to it, I feel.
I was just thinking the exact same thing there, Adam.
Or perhaps early...
Mark Webber drove a Jaguar.
Yes, or perhaps early 2000s Castrol Supra as well, when they put more red and green on the car.
Oh, that could be the reason. We've got Disappointed here for his second pit stop.
12th place is in the barrier.
Oh, 12th place is in the barrier. Can we get a...
Mid-2000s Aston Martin, he says. Yeah, Budsy spun the Ferrari and he's got it into the wall.
All I'm saying is, thankfully, that's not a...
He needs to reset himself. Budsy's done exactly the same thing as Larox. I think he's missed the pit because he's just reset again on the main straight, so I think he would have just lost the lap.
Yeah, we're just getting a replay of that now. We're having a look. Budsy. Yeah, very late.
It's very late going in. You don't want to be doing that too many times, Budsy. And he's trying to reverse it. He's trying to reverse it to go back in.
Yeah, they don't let you do that.
Oh.
He has to go around again. That's just going to lose him a stack more time.
And we've just had confirmation the It's Racing cars are actually a mid-2000s Aston Martin theme there, Beast Racer.
Yeah, I saw that pop up on the screen from the boss man himself. I wouldn't have thought Castrol Supra because he's very much a Honda man.
Yes, this is true.
Yes.
Myself and Huzo just had a bit of a moment.
Oh, any chance we can get a replay on that one? It's Racing.
Just to dob myself in.
Oh, now we're being asked questions about the It's Racing SF19s. I've got to have a look at this.
So, if you didn't see the replay there, effectively, I was on the inside of Huzo, and I don't think he realised I was as there as I was. He ended up in the gravel, I nearly threw it in the wall, but I think we only cost each other maybe 5 seconds. However, what that has done is I believe it's put Huzo and Disappointed in an on-track battle. So I do have to apologise to CP Motorsports.
We are actually looking at that on screen right now, Adam. We've got Dehuser and Disappointed locked in a very heated battle. They've separated by half a second now, but those boys were just about throwing punches at each other from car to car.
Surprised they aren't throwing punches, or surprised Huzo's not throwing punches at me, but you know. I think it was just a racing incident, but...
We've got Justin 930 into the pits in the It's Racing Esports Aston Martin as well for his next stop. With just the 1 litre of fuel remaining in the car, so his stop will get him to the end of the race with 34 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. As we continue to look at this GT battle between Dehuso 14 and Disappointed as they go around the Andretti hairpin once again. They're on their 61st lap of the race as Justin 930 rejoins the racetrack after his pit stop, and he'll drop in about 7.5 seconds behind Disappointed. And he's got plenty of time in hand over coming to you 194. There's over a lap between the cars running 10th and 11th outright on the track right now.
Yeah, that lap can be made up relatively easy, or not easily if an error occurs, but it'll still be good to see where that actual battle finishes on track to see where their times are relevant to each other.
We've just got Discord 1 on screen right now in the CP Motorsports Porsche. Out there all on his lonesome. There's a lot of bare racetrack in front of him. He's 1.5 minutes time-wise, which is just over a lap in front
For Aussie Copy.
Yeah, we're just getting a replay of Aussie Copy having an issue in the second EVM car. That's dropped him down to 5th overall in this part 2. He's just gone down onto the loose stuff, and he's done big damage to the Porsche. He's got engine damage.
A bit unfortunate for the second EBM car there.
He's got engine damage and front splitter and front right damage, so that'll have to be a pit stop for him. He's only doing 190 kilometres an hour. The Rahal straight, which is terribly slow in a front turn. That might bring Lurox back into the game for a top 5 finish. There, Ben.
Yeah, it could bring him back into the top 5 there, Beast Racer. I was just reading some of the comments there from Jarman. Boss man here at Trackstars just quickly. Wonder...
Telling me to go away?
Hey? No.
Aussie Copite's made its way to the pits as well, so the car's getting its work done to it as we wait to see how close it's going to be with Lurox 22 for the battle for position number 5 as Lurox is heading towards the final corner now. He'll make the left-hand turn onto the front straight around that just about hairpin left-hand corner. It is so slow as Aussie Copite returns to the racetrack in the 5th spot, and he's got about 10 seconds in hand. He's now got the race leader right behind him, so he's got the blue flags waving at him. Now
that'll still be handy for Aussie Copite there to have that 10-second gap over Lurox. Although it's not much, and someone of Lurox's capabilities will probably close that in, just as we're seeing Johnny overtake Justin 930 for another lap.
Down through the corkscrew, the 2 cars come, and we're focused on the Cartel Equipment Hire MB Glass It's Racing Esports Aston Martin with just on 30 minutes to go in this car race. It's gone by very, very quickly. 90 minutes in, 30 minutes to go.
Yes, it's gone very quickly.
Critical point here within this 2-hour race at least, with Diswood coming in.
Diswood's in for his
Woody's
final
coming
stop.
in for his final. Although, no, it's not to repair damage, so yes, this will be potentially
Tyres and fuel.
Diswood's final stop for a fresh set of Michelin tyres and a full tank of fuel.
With 30 minutes remaining, you probably don't need to go the full tank. You would be figuring out how far you'd probably have left to go and fuel it.
You've taken 3/4 of a tank of fuel.
Oh, he's going to be on the afterburners for the rest of the race. Then that's more than enough. 71. I was going to say he won't need any more than 60, but clearly he wants to push.
Yeah, definitely better to save
A fresh set of Michelin tyres.
As we again look at Aussie Copite sitting there in the 5th spot, he's got 10.5 seconds back to Lurox, and he's 57 seconds behind Scalio 2. Scalio 2's been having a very quiet last half hour or so.
Yeah, Scalio 2's been looking very comfortable here in the 4 hours of Laguna Seca. His teammate Devlin Calypso had a relatively good first pit.
Yeah, these two Belgian guys, they come and they show up every week. They're not the fastest guys out there, but they show up, they have fun. And they're
consistent.
Good races.
Yes.
So, especially in the case of Scala, I feel like he's got quicker every time I've seen him race.
And we definitely has. As he gets a little sideways there out of the left-hand kink onto the House straight. Yeah,
Commentator / competitor's curse.
Not too many people get to commentate the race from the car.
Oh. Wouldn't that be interesting in a speedway race if you could do that?
Oh, what would come out would not be airable, that's for sure.
Not be ideal. As Scalio 2's come in for his final stop of the evening, getting some fresh Michelin Pilot Sport tyres and potentially 3/4 of a tank of fuel as well.
The crew obviously decked out in green.
Yes, Michelin of course doing all the tyre modules for Gran Turismo Sport. And the official tyre sponsor for the FIA GTCs.
It's a little different having to take all my Bridgestone stickers off and put Michelin ones onto the cars I've got that I use for the manufacturers and that. Just so it doesn't look a bit silly having one tyre brand on the car and a different tyre brand on the actual tyre.
Yes, although if you look at certain car liveries like the Mercedes AMG, they've actually got both Falcon and Michelin on the standard livery that comes with the car.
Yeah, I have to say I don't pay too much attention to standard liveries.
No, neither do I. But when you sort of follow the real world motorsport, yeah, in the GT3 cars, some of them use different tyres depending on different tracks and compound settings.
Series.
Yes, exactly.
I believe there's still a tyre war at the Nürburgring in the formerly the VLN, now the NLS series, as well as the Nürburgring 24-hour. Whereas series like the GT World Challenge run Pirellis, I believe.
Yeah, the GT World Challenge is on the Pirellis, part of their tyre deal there. Any one of us who play Assetto Corsa Competizione know that, as you spend a lot of time on the Pirellis there.
Yes, I'm yet to try that one.
I've played a bit of it myself. I quite enjoy it, especially with how the GT3 cars handle on there. Oh, Lurok's having all sorts of trouble with coming for you. 194 trying to pass him.
more issues for Lurox here.
Yeah, we definitely would not be able to broadcast what Lurox would be saying right about now.
No.
He's just had one of those races.
I'm thankful we don't have access to the PlayStation Party chat right now. As,
I'm fairly thankful I'm not in it.
I don't even think there is one. I've not had any notifications pop up. Jono's now coming in for a fresh set of Goodyear Eagle and potentially close to a full tank.
Yeah, very close to a full tank. I feel he's taken 80 litres. That's his third stop.
Oh, and he's had aero damage as well, apparently. I've just seen.
Disappointed as
Sorry,
well.
Lurox has had aero damage again. The damage wasn't for Jono, but for Lurox.
Yeah, he's got
He's had a
front
horrible.
split.
Yeah, he's had a horrible run.
It's very much 2 hours that he's going to want to forget very quickly.
Yes. It'd be one of those, can we do it again so I can do it right moments.
Unfortunately, in league racing, unlike racing against the AI, you can't just press the options button.
Reset button.
Reset. Try this one again.
We've all had those kind of moments. I think the TC race that we had around here, this race, so there were a few of those moments, weren't there?
Especially the first lap of race one. I couldn't have gone any worse for me personally. You ended up in the back of me at one point while I was in the middle of an accident.
Oh, that was unavoidable.
That was just one of those things. I ended up last, and it's like, okay, I'm going to put my foot down here.
Yes.
And I just went for it and somehow found my way back into the top 10.
I think that race I even hit the options button in hopes that it would ghost me out to try and avoid you. But it didn't work.
It doesn't play the game when it does that, as we're looking at Dustin 930 once again. He's under 6 seconds behind Dehuzo 14, as he's got Lurox in behind him. Lurox is closing in very quickly on Aussie Popeye too. The gap's down to just 6 seconds. So there could be a battle for 5th in the back end of this race with just over 21 minutes to go.
Wow, that hour and 40's gone remarkably
I think there may have
quick.
just been a lag incident between myself and coming for you. On my screen, I was nowhere near him.
Thank you, Jarman.
Play up as we look at coming for you as he comes down through Granny Curve. And
yeah, it was definitely a lag moment.
Did it hit on your end? Did it hit?
There definitely looked to be a gap between the two cars, so there's definitely a bit of lag in there. Definitely a bit
Oh yeah, I had like I was 3 car lengths away from him on my screen.
Yeah, I think it was the old GT Sport imaginary car bubble.
Yeah.
And the lag combined, unfortunately.
Did he get damage?
I don't believe so.
Good, at least. That's something.
They're confirming no damage on coming for you's car.
That's something at least.
We've just had Spud put another lap down on Diswood as well. So he's now 2 laps in front and then some over the 3rd place car in this 2 hour segment.
He's only about 15 seconds behind me as well for that 2-lap marker. It's been a very good drive from Spuddy.
Yeah, Spud's done a very good job, as did Huntz in the first stint of this race. As we've just seen, Disappointed get a little taily there as Lurox has come to pass him.
Got out of the way and almost got completely out of the way by going off the racetrack. There's a yellow flag in the corkscrew. And that's for Budsy, who looks like he's had a problem. We'll get a replay of that. Coming down to the corkscrew and just spins it off the track into the entrance of the race curve.
Yeah, he's just spun it wide, giving way to Aussie Copite there. And in doing so, nearly took out the 6th place overall car in Lurox 22.
Two drivers that have had absolute shocker races is Lurox 22 and Budsy 76. That is for sure, as we're looking at DPSO, who's 3rd on the road in the GTE class in the CP Motorsports Porsche.
Yes, I believe Budsy might have been a reserve driver for that car tonight too.
It is very difficult to jump into a strange environment, especially with teams, things like that, because they have their own ways of doing things with cars to run. Sometimes it can get very difficult for drivers coming in and being reserve drivers, as Adam very well knows, being a reserve driver for the EBM Motorsports team tonight.
Oh yeah, there's certainly a challenge to it. I'm running the car more or less stock, to be honest. I've softened the front just slightly on one of the damping settings. Don't ask me which, I can't remember. There was, and then also just changed the cambers a little bit. 2 clicks more camber on. Oh, yellow flags. Last turn.
And we don't see why just yet.
Budsy
going out slow. Yeah, those ABM boys will treat you right there, Adam.
So just got out onto the loose stuff again, and round went the Ferrari once again. So that Ferrari's spent more time doing burnouts than a teenager on a Saturday night.
But yeah, I mean, the car, it feels so much better. Even just with slight changes to the diff and the aero balance and that one little adjustment to the suspension has really brought the car alive. I mean, admittedly, it's probably a lot slower than what the other EBM boys have, but it certainly feels good.
So just getting a replay of Lurox move coming for you, and there was contact between them. There was already damage on the front of the Lurox car, so...
Yeah, those EBM boys, they'll help you with setups and all sorts, Adam.
Oh, I'm not sure they're going to rush to sign me to a full-time seat.
Well, they have actually signed myself to a full-time seat in the Trailblazers group that we're actually doing a cross promotion with. So EBM have actually signed me up to a full-time drive in their Group 4 and Group 3 series that they run over there.
Right.
So this man on screen's actually come from. So he's come from the Trailblazer group over to Track Stars and running with the Track Stars boys as well. As I've just gotten a message from the boss man that battle between 4th, 5th and 6th is getting quite close.
Yeah, there's only 8 seconds now between Scalio 2 in 4th and Lurox 22 who's in 6th. We've only got a quarter of an hour to go, so this is really heating up for the end of the race. As Aussie Cockpit is
Yeah,
closing in
this
very
will
quickly
be.
on Scalio too. That gap's now under 4 seconds, and it's just under 5 seconds back to Lirox 22 as well. So
I wonder
these three
if,
cars are going to battle it out.
Wonder if Scully's running with a little bit of front end damage.
Oh, Aussie Cockpit's
Binned
lost
it.
it in the corkscrew.
He's lucky he got back on track. We're going to get a replay of that. He's just tried to get on the power that little bit too early.
A little bit
Got to
too
be
much set.
patient. Yeah, you got to be really patient with these LMP1 cars. They're very torquey, and as soon as you jump on it, they engage the rear wheels, and if you're not totally straight, they'll just spin you around.
And that's closed. And Lirox has just got past Aussie Cockpit as well, so
yes, that's enough.
5.
It changed for position. Lirox got around, or under Aussie there.
Yeah, I noticed as we were looking at that before, Aussie Cockpit was defending into the last corner, and Lirox did the switchback out of the final corner and just had the run. And he will go to work chasing down Scalio too. He's already closed a second of what was a 9-second advantage as he gets out into the loose stuff. Behind the lap car and Jono stand 96, who is our GT class leader.
And Lirox is still running with that front splitter damage as well, Beast Racer.
Yeah, he's just figured he's just going to roll with it. He's still doing 113s, 114s as Aussie Cockpit has to the inside. Lirox slammed the door very firmly shut as Aussie Cockpit has. Look, there's contact.
Oh, there's contact.
Aussie Cockpit's taken the place.
I wonder if that might be an incident there for the stewards to review, a bit of a incident, or if it's just going to be deemed a racing incident there, Beast Racer.
Aussie Cockpit had a run, he had to have a go, and the two cars made contact, so it was very close. The advantage of us being the commentators is we can leave the hardest to the stewards.
Right, guys, just so you're aware, I'll be muting for the rest of the race. I have leader coming up on me as well as Diswood, so ta-ta till the end.
Racing.
And just under 6 seconds now between Adam and Diswood as they got Spud in between them. Spud to put Adam 2 laps down in this second portion of this race.
As we've just seen a message from It's Racing there pop up, he hopes it's not an incident report between the two there.
Yeah, gotta admit, I'm still waiting on the stewards report from last week.
Yeah, I think we're still waiting on the last week and the last round of Porsches as well.
Yeah, the stewards have had a lot on their plate lately.
So I think there's a few people keen to see the Porsche results. Hopefully that gets sorted for the next round at Blue Moon Bay Infield A for the Porsches.
We just had a quick look there at Scalio 2 as well. There in the fourth
Yeah.
spot, he's got Lirox, who's lost the spot to Aussie. Oh, that's right. He got passed by Aussie Cockpit.
Yes, passed down the front straight.
But the race between D. Huso and Justin 930 is getting very
Oh, that
close
race
as well.
is on. Wonder if we can ride on board with Justin 930 for a lap. See how smooth his inputs are. I know Justin's very smooth. Yeah, that's it. Oh, little nudge.
That's Aussie Cockpit round.
Yeah, what's Aussie happen?
Just noticed
Wonder if
that.
that's done on his own.
Lirox definitely too far behind to make a move, and
Done on his own. He
beyond
just
the
got the AstroTurf.
and he's got engine damage
You
and
and I
front
both
end
know.
damage as well. So
Yes, as
That's
you and
what
I both
Taylor
know,
himself.
that AstroTurf isn't very friendly to the racing tyres, is it?
It's just as evil as the AstroTurf on the exit of the hairpin at Fuji.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've rotated cars on GT Sport, losing it on the AstroTurf at Fuji.
And the AstroTurf at Spa as well.
Oh, yes. As we continue to look at this DUSO Justin 930 battle, they've rotated positions since the last lap, as we all saw from the onboard of the Aston Martin.
Yes, wasn't sure if there was might have been a little tail slide there from the Porsche DUSO, but it would have been too much to send him around or anything like that, as he's had another little tail wiggle out of the last corner there.
Just getting that right rear tyre out onto the AstroTurf, and it is on for position 2.
Oh, this will be a good battle. Diswood and Adam Weller, EBM versus CP.
Using up all the track and then up.
Yes, very.
Watch the battle into the inside, makes Diswood go the long way.
Adam's holding position well in that number 34 EBM entry.
We've got Aussie Copite into the pits as well to repair that damage. It's very unfortunate with less than 10 minutes to go as the battle for second continues.
Yes, it'll be very good if Adam can hold him off, but it would also be a good race if the CP Motorsports could get a good podium here on their third year running as an actual team. So this weekend actually marks the 3rd year anniversary of CP Motorsports Beast Racer.
Yeah, I did see that post as well, as Adam Weller very much on the defensive, as Diswood is looking every which direction to find a way through. Adam parks it down the inside, makes it impossible to go the inside.
Oh, a little nudge there from Diswood. Nothing too dangerous. Absolute cracker of a battle here between the number 34 EBM entry and the number 16 from CP Motorsports. As Adam once again goes to the defensive in the Andretti hairpin.
Diswood out into the loose stuff. Ripper of a battle between these two gentlemen. 7 minutes to go. And we have a race with the bottom 2 steps on the podium for this portion of the race.
And I believe that'd be overall as well.
Quite possibly with what's going on with Lurox in this one.
This could very well be a race for the podium in overall.
Well, we've got the other CP Motorsports GT car getting out of the way.
Yeah, Huzo moves just out. Yeah, very nicely done there from Huzo.
Could have potentially got very messy there, but it's someone like D Huzo that you absolutely want in the car. As Adam gets it sideways.
Oh, a little bit sideways. But
he's still got the spot. As they look to find a way
using the lap
past
car of as Adam uses that lap car a little bit to his advantage to just slow Diswood up a little bit going into the corner.
And that time out of the Andretti hairpin getting into the...
Oh no, the boat
and
got
he's
him.
got the track limits penalty.
Oh no, that's horrible for our commentator.
He has to burn it, give up the spot. But he will now be on the offensive.
Oh, Diswood's repressed him. I wonder if there was contact there between Diswood and Adam Weller, which caused Adam to go off track and get that penalty.
That's very possible. Unfortunately, we've gone too far around the track to get a replay now, because we only really have a 20-second window to get the replay in. But if that is the case, that is actually very gentlemanly from Diswood to hand the spot back and redress it. make it sure that the pass is fair as we enter the 93rd lap for these guys.
Wow,
N Spud triples, NP 666. He's 2 laps in front, remember. He'll be on his 95th lap. As we've got just under 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, so Spud will be looking to complete maybe 97, 98 laps of racing here at Laguna Seca in the LMP1 cars.
Between that and the laps he did in the BMW before, that's a lot of laps in one night as Biswood makes the move finally on Adam Weller and takes position number 2 on track.
Makes it stick, makes it clean.
It starts the drive away as Budsy gets out of the way to allow the prototypes to battle. Budsy, another driver who's had an absolute shocker run in the Ferrari.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Woody's got better tyres than Adam Weller now. Just because of that may almost look too easy around Adam Weller.
We've got Lurox back up in the 4th spot. He's got nearly 14 seconds now over Scalio too, who's there in 5th, and Aussie Copite rounds out our prototype runners with John O'Stan 96 and Disappointed leading our GT class. And Spud with a 1:10.910 as John O'Stan burns off a penalty and gets it sideways.
It almost bins. Yeah, almost bins it in the final corner there.
As Aussie Copite into the pits once again. That's about the 5th time for him now.
I was about to say, I wonder if that's to repair a little bit more damage.
Yeah, more damage.
Unfortunate. Wonder what's happened here.
Spun it into the wall again.
So then how did he get reset back to where the pits were for that? Has he gone around again?
That's a little bit confusing, that, because
we're only gifted.
That might be a few laps ago.
Yeah, but how's he getting the replay of that now then?
I don't know, I was just looking at the time on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And yeah, that was 8 minutes ago we got that replay from, so...
Yeah, unless they... I don't know.
That's a new one.
For we're
looking at our race leader.
Yes, Spud in that beautiful red and white Toyota hybrid there. Just had an absolute cracker of a race with points to start with, and now Spud to finish it off.
Look at the fastest lap he completed, a 1:10.910. He's absolutely flying. As he comes around the corner to complete lap 97, there's a minute 33 to go, so a minute and a half, so he'll get 2 more laps. So he will complete this race.
So that would have been 99 laps for points and 99 laps for Spud.
That's 198 laps all up.
Ow, over 4 hours, that's a lot of laps around here.
We've got a yellow flag there in turn number 4. So something's going on there, and it's Budsy 76.
He's pulled over knowing it's the last lap of the race, I think.
He's also very, very short on fuel.
I wonder if he's out of fuel then.
Well, when you're out of fuel with GT Sport, you are able to drive along at 80 kilometres an hour, so...
No, he's not out of fuel, he's...
Spud with a penalty.
Well, Spud's got a penalty. Well, this is not so dangerous for the race leader, but I'd wonder where he got the penalty from.
Maybe cutting it 20 seconds to go. Now onto his final lap as we look also at our GTE class leader, John O'Stan 96, who's completed 85 laps. He's on his 86, so he's 13 laps behind Spud in the lead.
That's
I
phenomenal.
crossed the line first, I won.
As Adam Weller crosses the line and completes his 2 hour stint at the wheel. As we look at Spud heading up the hill through the King towards the Rahal Straight for the final time, the 99th and final time in this portion of the race.
So he would have done 98 racing laps because we had that 1 lap formation.
Well, Jono's very sideways there, and yes, he did do 98 laps with the 1 extra formation lap. So as we come through the last corner, we've got our GT winner, our overall winner, and what is going on here?
What was that?
I don't know if that
Jono
was celebrating or what.
I don't know if Jono was all kinds of sideways or if he was attempting to lose the back end to do a donut before the finish line.
If he's celebrating, that's one reason why you don't celebrate before you cross the line. That sort of reminded me of an ALMS race from this track back in the late 2000s, where the 2 guys in the last lap both ended up in the fence when they were too busy trying to celebrate and take each other out.
So confirming your LMP podium for this stint of the race. It's N Spud P 666, Diswood 1 and Adam Weller. We are awaiting confirmation of the actual race results.
Great win there for Spud. Absolutely dominated the race. As hopefully Jarman can bring the race results up for us.
32, 34 and 14 are your
Official top 3.
official top 3.
But for this
That would
portion
be
of the race, we have N-Spud P666, our winner for this second half of our 4 hours of Laguna Seca here for the Track Stars Endurance Series. Diswood 1 was there in second, Adam Weller was third, Lurox 22 was fourth, and running out our top 5 was Scalio 2. Aussie Copite was our last prototype to finish there in 6th. Then we had Jono Stan in 7th. He was the first of our GT disappointed. Second in GT. Then it was Justin 930. DeHuso 14. 4th place in our GTE. Then we have SDRT. That stands for Shade On Racing Team. Was a there in 5th in the Shade On Porsche. Coming for you 194 in the Aston Martin was next. Then it was Budsy 76, the last car to cross the line in the Ferrari that he shared with Rugworth tonight. And
So at this point in time, it looks like the top 3 each class was Mash Spuds Racing, EBM with Adam Weller behind the wheel the second stint, and CP Motorsport in third for the LMP class. And then it was the team of Jono Stan 96 and Rubber Gear 9493 in first for GTE, with the number 18 of CP Motorsports in second. That's a great result for CP Motorsports on their 3rd year anniversary. 2 podiums in 2 different classes. Their Beast Racer.
yeah, they got the Porsches into the podium spots in both divisions. That is a fantastic result for the team. As you said, it is their 3rd anniversary weekend this weekend.
A good recovery as well, it must be said, from Diswood, because obviously, I mean, he had the damage early on in the race, but of course, he managed to inherit that third place in the overall 4-hour race for his team, largely courtesy of Lerox's issues in the race.
Yes, and then and then we had It's Racing Esports round out the podium in the GTE class as well. So that's a good result for the It's Racing Esports boys.
As we get another look at our race results for our second part of this 4-hour event, we had 2 hours earlier on this evening, and we all swapped all the drivers over. We swapped the commentators over, even though our first half commentator joined us live from the car.
This can't keep me away.
It was an interesting experience, that was for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, it was great to hear you guys doing your stuff. I've heard Spud and Itz before as a duo. Now I've heard you guys as well. I think there's a lot of good broadcasters within Trackstars. You're not going to want me back at the end of the real life racing season.
Mate, there'll always be a spot here for you.
Always, buddy.
You right, Neil? Sorry. I thought I'd muted the mic. See? That was a really good race. I think certainly. What was that?
Jarman's just gone. I'm starting to wonder if Adam's going to take his PS4 to Brands Hatch or Stone to try and Trackstars.
Honestly, it had crossed my mind at one point. So before you guys had the change to winter time, your races were done by like 10 o'clock, and often at UK club race meetings, I don't have to do the quali on Sunday morning. So I was like, well, actually, if I just stay in the hotel room and it's got decent Wi-Fi, I might actually be able to do it. But now that the race has run into the afternoon, that's a moot point, sadly.
Just commentate on our races before you do the live ones.
How to get sacked in one fell swoop.
From 2 different companies.
Yeah.
Or 2 different organisations.
Exactly.
Yeah, real world motorsports, the tracks definitely want you to be talking about what's going on the actual racetrack.
Probably. I've heard that before. But no, that was, across the 4 hours, obviously I didn't get as good a look at the most recent 2-hour race, but certainly in the first 2 hours that I commentated on, some brilliant driving in both classes, great battles throughout in both classes as well. And certainly within my stint, I think I didn't have any problems caused by anyone else. I caused 1 or 2 other people very minor problems. Thankfully, I think I've kept my nose clean enough to not be exiled. So, but no, really good racing. So now that I've experienced the Trackstars Endurance Series myself, I can give it a full recommendation. Very good stuff.
No, you did quite well there, Adam.
Yes. It was stressful. I was on Fuel Mix 3 for most of that last stint. If I had to do another lap at the end there, I would have run out.
I think you were running on fumes by the end of it.
Yes, I was. I was very tempted to just cruise around at like 80 Ks as it would be for you guys, and just have that extra lap, but I realised that I might end up causing Jarman a headache by not actually crossing the line at the end of the race. That would make the results a lot more difficult. So.
Now, it's absolutely pleasure to have you along with us.
Yes, I'll leave it to one of you 2 guys to sign off. I've just been a background character.
Hey, Adam,
actually, I might jump in before Adam disappears.
Oh goodness!
And just
what's
say,
that? It's.
I might jump in before you disappear and say thanks for coming on board and commentating and streaming for us over the last year or so. Hopefully, for your sake, you don't need to come back because you'll be off doing the real world stuff.
Yes, well, I mean, I'm still set to be with you on this coming Sunday, but because I'm only commentating Saturday. But yes, it's I'm quite sad to see it come to an end. Really, it's not often with the circuit commentary that you get to follow full seasons and kind of see that whole dynamic of the championship evolve organically. So this has been a lot of fun, and any spare weekend you guys will all be hearing from me, and hopefully I can do something,
Yeah,
be it commentating, driving, or both.
if there's any free weekends, we'd love to have you back.
Great. Love
Have
you.
your car on track.
Yes, I am watching it. Neil, there's like 5 of you in here right now. There's 4 cats on the screen and there's 1 of you on the windowsill.
A gift from us to you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to bringing that out with some of my British lobby friends, because they are also intrigued by my cat.
What is doubtably probably one of the most British colours in the game.
Absolutely, except they're technically Kiwi, but we'll gloss over that.
Baron Orange was developed in England.
This is true. I'm just trying to score some cheap points with the New Zealanders in. I think it would be up to one of you guys to sign off if we haven't already stopped streaming.
I'll leave that one to you, Beast Racer, or It's Racing.
Yeah, I think Beast Racer can cover that.
That's no worries. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this evening for the 4 hours of Laguna Seca here with the Trackstars Endurance Series. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time on behalf of Ben, Adam, Itz, and myself. We'll see you.